Hey guys, Brian Stevens here with the National Real Estate Post. I have actually, I can say this, my good friend, longtime friend, Stephanie Ham, who works over at Caliber. Now, the reason we're having Stephanie on today is she's done a couple of posts that I think really speak to where the market is at today as opposed to where it was a couple of years ago. Because there's a lot of loan officers out there who are still wishing for yesterday, and yesterday is gone. It's just gone. One of the things that you were talking about, Stephanie, was managing expectations with your clients as it pertains to interest rates. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So clients are shocked to hear rates anywhere in the 5% range based on what they know about higher rates. They're expecting that prices should be coming down in correlation to these higher rates. And so we have to acknowledge how they feel, right? And then talk about things that are different perhaps about the market today, which is our limited inventory. And then just sort of show them historic rates, and that while rates in the fives are much higher than the recent past, they're actually quite normal in the mortgage market. And if we just look back at the last peak of the last housing cycle in 2005, 6, and 7, rates were well over 6% at that time. So, sometimes that helps.
But you were saying like you'll like give a GFE or something to a client and they'll actually get offended. Well, this rate over here is at 5%. Like, what the hell is going on? Rates are 2% and home prices should be coming down. These are the type of, statements that we have to deal with as loan officers. How are you responding to that?
This is maybe the time to find your forever home, and maybe you're not going to be in your forever loan, right? So if you can, we have limited inventory. So what you're looking for exists in a very limited quantity. So if you can find the home that you're looking for and you take the current market rates, then perhaps you have an opportunity to refinance in the future should a recession occur or rates come back down, but at least you've got the property. And we have to talk about what your alternative is. Your alternative is to continue to rent or live with your parents or whatever the situation may be, and rents are going up. So, what is your plan? You're going to wait to see if prices fall for the next, how long would that take? First, it's a big cruise ship here, prices, and you can take your foot off the gas, but it doesn't stop, and it certainly doesn't go backwards on a dime, right? So things will slowly change. Yes, with higher rates, we will see a little less buyer activity. And so, yes, we'll see homes on the market a little longer, but we're coming out of one of the fastest paced markets that we've ever seen. It's not what I would call healthy. So we're normalizing, and it's good for them to understand this is normal. And if they're uncomfortable and they think prices are really going to fall, that's fine, but let's make a plan. So, I'm in California, so prices are high. So if you're paying $2,200 or $2,300 in rent this lease, and we know your lease is going to expire and they're going to raise the rent as high as they can on you next time, which is around 8% now in this area, you have to look, what is that going to do to me in a couple years? So yes, if your housing payment for your first home is closer to $3,500 or something like this, you're looking at that like, whoa, lady, you want to take all my money for down payment and closing costs, and you want to give me this rate in the fives, and what am I getting? Stability. You're getting stability. You're getting an appreciating asset that over time, if you're going to be in your property for 5 years or more, which is, if you're buying a home, you should probably have that plan. You're going to have forced savings through equity. You're going to be able to take appreciation. You might even get a mortgage interest deduction because you have these rates in the fives. We used to take that and itemize, and then the tax laws changed, and that's been a challenge. But anyway, there are some benefits to owning your home. You're supposed to be happier and more emotionally satisfied. Your kids are. There's all kinds of studies. So, people have just like a recency bias. So if rates were 3, they want 3.
That's great. A recency bias. That's a great term. The other one that I like is, and I want loan officers to think about this, and realtors, you're looking at buying your forever home, not your forever loan. That's a really great way of putting it, because the assumption is that the loan that you're going to get with the home is going to be there for the next 30 years. Well, it's not going to be. Looking at those 5-year, 7-year, 10-year, arms are a great idea. And everybody really does believe that we're going to have a recession, which is going to pull rates down, and the opportunity to refinance is going to be there. And the other part of it, Stephanie, is like, okay, rates are up, so home values, they might go down. Now, then rates are going to go down, and home values are going to go up, because what no one's talking about in this limited conversation is the fact that we don't have inventory today, and we're not going to have it tomorrow. So it's really going to be the rate is really going to be the determining factor where home prices are at. And it's not going to change your payment. It's going to change the cost for the house, the price that you're paying for the house, but it's not going to change the payment. Now, you said something else that I thought was great. You said, let's put people on a diet. Can you explain what that diet is?
Yeah, so I call it the mortgage diet, and it's really simply a budget. So if you are paying $2,200 or $2,300 for rent, and your plan is to buy a house when the prices fall, whatever it is, and that will cost about $3,500, you should be saving the difference while you're waiting for the prices to fall. Don't inactively wait, right? If you're making the conscious choice of, it is too much for me to buy this house now, too risky, you need to plan to buy the house at some point, right? And so save the difference, because you can never have too much money when you're buying a house. So just, you've got to make a plan. And so people are more than willing to pay 20% on a $5,000 credit card balance. They're offended by anything over $5,000 on a mortgage for $500,000. And they don't really want to save any money or identify that they're not saving money. So the mortgage diet is a super simple spreadsheet, and we put their net income in, their fixed costs. We talk about what a fixed cost is, right? And their soft costs, we ask them to please look at the last 3 months. How much did you spend on food, groceries, these things that can change, gas, soft costs, right? And then what's left, right? And some people are shocked to see that they're blowing thousands of dollars on, I don't know, Amazon probably, every month. Other people, you're like, wow, I don't know how you're doing it. And they're like, well, I do get some assistance or child support or whatever. So you're like, okay, you're maxed out. But we identify your ability to save, first of all. And if you don't have it, something has to give. You either need more income or less debt.
It's interesting. There's a study that just came out that said the vast majority of people who are making $250,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. So my question is the people that you put on the mortgage diet, have you ever seen success? And I don't mean to be cynical about it, but do you hold people accountable on this? And have you seen success with it?
So you can't hold people too accountable in my world, because you're trying to be encouraging, right? So it's not like we beat you up if you don't manage to save that $450. But we do follow up, and that's one of the I would say my realtor partner's favorite things about me is that we do follow up. So hey, if you're in a holding pattern and you just want to know, we're going to check in with you every couple of months. Hey, how's the savings going? Do you have any questions for us? Did you make that payment on the credit card? We have a plan, and we're trying to follow up with that plan. And we have had people be very successful with the mortgage diet. In fact, last week, a gentleman came up to me and thanked me so much for the mortgage diet. They never ended up buying a house, but he said, I didn't think I could have an 800 credit score. I didn't think we could have savings. I didn't think we could have no debt, but you showed me that we can. So ultimately, we're helping people with the mortgage diet all over the place, because even if you decide, hey, I don't want to pay property taxes associated with that $700,000 house, I'll just keep the one I bought for $250,000 and stay here, which, makes sense for a lot of people. They can still put themselves in better position for the future. So it's just good to identify what you make and what you spend, because lifestyle creep is very real. So when you make $250,000 a year, you think you've hit all your targets and you can buy whatever you want, but you forget you're taxed at almost 50%. So you absolutely must take that into consideration, right? What you earn and what you receive is, different matter entirely. And you can always spend more than you make. And it doesn't matter how much you make. It matters how much you save.
Yeah, it's true. How do you live paycheck to paycheck making $250,000 a month? Really easy. Merchant in Maine. Oh, and by the way, one more thing. You said that you can't be mean to your clients. Did you ever meet George Kubiak?
I don't think so.
Oh my goodness, George Kubiak used to work with us over on Merchant Alamo. George and Dahl, that was a loan officer who knew how to keep his clients in place. Boy, did he ever. Hey, listen, Stephanie, take her words to heart, guys. She's an ass kicker. She's not on our show because she's a one loan a month person or a Johnny come lately. She's doing great in a hard market. She does great in a good market, and she's been doing this for a long time. So Stephanie, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Sure.